you're the number one kid in your family, you want to get it all just right.
Or maybe you're a wrecking ball of energy, a feisty kid whose brain is quirky and bright.
Are you the quiet type who lives in your head now? Or are you off in outer space?
Could you be the kid they call the little brat? You just want in but no one gives you a place. You're a maze of mysteries and doubts. You're a maze of ups and downs and outs.
You're a maze of possibilities. You're a maze of extraordinaries.
And hidden in the zany maze that is you, I'll be blunt, there's a treasure that's worth the hunt.
Maybe you're the goofy, glorious one, full of fire and fantasy.
Are you the kind who likes to hold it all down? Your love is deeply rooted to the ground. You've got your faults for sure. Sometimes you feel just like a pile of manure. But join the club, that's how it is. We're all sloppy like a wet dog kiss.
You might think there's just no hope because you're a screw-up or a great big dope. But join the club, oh my friend. This is the glory of being human. La 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 la
La la la la la.
We're full of pieces that don't seem to fit together, a jumbly mess of jubilee.
But there's a seed of something great in me and you. We're full of wonder, yes it's true. We're a maze of mysteries and doubts, a maze of ups and downs and outs.
A maze of possibilities, a maze of extraordinaries.
And hidden in the zany maze that is you, I'll be blunt, there's a treasure that's worth the hunt.
You're a maze of mysteries, of ups and downs and outs.
You're a maze of possibilities. You're a maze of extraordinaries.
There's a treasure that is hidden in you.
Yes, it's true.
You're amazing.
No, you're amazing.
I'm amazing?
And I'm amazing too. We're amazing.
You know, I didn't want to bore you guys by playing that song pretty much all week, but it's so cool. It's so fun. Isn't that a great song? The Lord gave me that song to try, and my vision was that, you know, people, especially who had read the book or listened to the audiobook or been part of the adventure, the 28-day Mrs. Amazing in the Seed adventure for kids like roughly 10 to 14, right around there, 10 to 12, 12, 13, something depending on the kid, that that mom could put this on in the car, and then people would go, oh, that's Chance. Oh, that's Charleston. No, that's Constance. That's Chief. That's Faye. That's Frank. No, that's like me. I'm like that kid. I'm the one who always gets called the little brat, or I'm the crazy, glorious one, or I'm the one who's really stable and practical. I was hoping that people would be in their car listening to this song, and they would find themselves, or they would find their family members and go, that's so you, because it's not picking on anybody. It's helping them see sort of the types of people, you know, the super aggressive types, or the super organized types, or the kind of mysterious introvert types, and the risk takers. Oops, dropped it. The risk takers, and the ones who show their love by just being super stable. So my dream was that families would be in the car celebrating all their unique personalities and talking about you've got your faults for sure. Sometimes you feel like a pile of manure, and we're all sloppy like a wet dog kiss, which is referring to, here we go, Cornelius, the family hound dog. And you think there's no hope, you're a screw up or a great big dope. But join the club, oh my friend. This is the glory of being human. And the idea of Mrs. Amazing and the Seed was the story of this. So she's called Mrs. Amazing, but we have no idea why she's called Mrs. Amazing until the end of the book. And when I read this to kids, they keep going, wait, why is she called Mrs. Amazing? Why is she called? Because the name of this character, this lady, is Faye Faltum. Faltum. The Faltum family, this crazy, glorious family, being so different. The Faltums, full of faults, full of humanity, and yet working it out and being an intact family. And I wanted kids to see an intact family. I wanted them to see a dad who loved his family and went off to work every day to be able to keep them out of the grown-up factory, and how mom sacrificed to be with them, but she was taking them on these trips to find wonder, this other realm. And I wanted kids to figure out where they fit and who they identified with. The oldest sibling who tries so hard to be perfect and feels so responsible, and the two twins. We've got two twins here. One, like Chance, he blows things up just to see how they work. He wants to just watch conflict because it's physics. And then there's Charleston. He's the nerdy, poetic, dreamer, cello playing, science brain also. And then there's little Chief with his red hair and freckles, and he's the boss because he doesn't want to be left out of anything. Then we have Cornelius the hound dog, and together they do this kind of ensemble thing. So each character to me was important, and I wanted each of the kids to figure out who they identified with. And then there's Miss Beasley. She's the facilitator, the head facilitator at the Dumble Street Center for Life Skills Development and Child Organization, or I forget, it was like this crazy name. At the Dumble Street Center for Life Preparation and Child Development. That's what it's called. And in the Faltums family, they call it the grown-up factory, because kids go in and their imaginations are destroyed and they come out like stamped into these grown-ups, right? And they want their kids, they know their imaginations have to be preserved because their imaginations are the only way they're going to access the realm of wonder, which is a literal place, a physical, a dimension, right? So they risk everything because they don't want their kids going to the grown-up factory to have their imaginations destroyed and turned into conforming grown-ups that conform to this heinous thing called the prescribed order. And it's kind of funny because Mrs. Faltum, Faye, who we find out later is Mrs. Amazing, she calls the prescribed order operation the POO, the POO. So she's like, I don't want my kids involved in the POO. And there's all kinds of nifty little turns of phrase like that, and plant biology and the wonder of them going into seeds on a cellular level and into reproduction, actually physically experiencing it from the inside out with these characters from this other realm, and it teaches them all about life. And so you can, I just felt like talking about it. It took me a long time to write, a long time to edit, and I still learn stuff. I'm probably going to do even another version of this as part of a 5-book series for YA, young adult readers, or youth, the youth age, the junior high, early high school, because I deal with some deep stuff in this. In any event, if you go to mrsamazing.com, you can order the book. Please do it now, because I'm not going to ship anything else out after Sunday. I'm going to pop things in the mailbox, and I'm going away, and I will not be back until January 2nd. And I'm going to take some time off of doing live streams as well during that time, about 12 days. And if you want the 28-day multimedia adventure that's a whole other thing. You can get $5 off, and you can give it as a gift. 28 days of an audio episode in your inbox every day with illustrations, the songs. There's another song. You get the songs, then you get the audio book, you get the digital book, you get a hard copy book, you get a CD of mine, you get the Wandossery, you get links to special videos. I mean, come on. Anyway, go to MrsAmazingandTheSeed.com and use the code WONDER for your $5 off. You just ordered it. Hey there. Terry, 3Gia, if you play this in replay, you need to get in touch with me because you ordered 2. And I'm wondering if the second order was a mistake because they're going to the same address. So I'm trying to make sure I don't double ship you if that's not what you did. So Terry, I sent you an email, but if you see this scope, you need to get in touch with me because otherwise I'm sending it out 2 sets. In any event, how you guys doing? That's my pitch. It's kind of exciting, you know, if you really watch my scopes. I don't do a lot of book promotion and stuff, and at least not in depth like that. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I'll be shipping that out if I haven't already shipped it out. I'm so glad. Just make sure if you order the 28-day adventure that you keep track of those emails, 1 a day with the adventure for you to enjoy and kind of anticipate and look forward to and maybe listen to with your kids and so on and so forth. All right, and the website show you can print out a special certificate if you're giving it away as a gift to your kids. You can choose the start date. Maybe you want it to start the beginning of January, you know, like the adventure. There you have it. Wow. Wow. Every day feels to me like an epic deal. I go to bed at night and things are kind of quiet in some ways here. I feel kind of hunkered in and hunkered down while the storm is happening all around us. And I'm doing some really, really specific things to make changes and have influence in my community that involve me going past my comfort zone, getting with people, talking to people, being in touch with them, helping to create community, helping to contribute. And also today I'm going to go do something on purpose because I scouted it out where I can go without wearing the face burqa to do something really special with my kids. And I'm looking forward to that. So all these things are happening inside me. I'm paying attention. I'm in prayer. And I'm in ministry. I'm doing it. But there's still sort of a sense of even hibernation. I feel this hibernation. I'm, here, at night. It gets dark, like 4 o'clock, and we finish dinner. We do things, and we're kind of in, right? We're kind of settled in, at least here in the Northeast. And it's an amazing feeling at the end of every day because I'll tell you what, in the morning I wake up going, I know we're good, but I feel like I have another hill to climb because there's so much going on and so many opinions. And I hear from some people saying, I'd like to believe what you believe, but I think it's over. I think we're screwed. And I think if we tell people to hope that the deep state's going to get dealt with, we're not doing anybody any favors. And this kind of thing, so many opinions, right? Opinions are like earlobes. Everybody has 2. And probably more than one, but everybody's got them. And so I want to say that I'm learning, and you can too. It's really, really important to learn to celebrate every inch of increase that you make, every moment where you notice, like we talked about yesterday, and one of you commented that the obsession or the anxiety or when God is dealing with you and setting you free in an area, it's almost imperceptible sometimes. Sometimes it's very clear, but still you don't realize the depth of what he's done for maybe a couple of months even until you realize that your wiring has changed. You're not being triggered. I will say, hey Barnabas, I will say that, and share this out, I'm being squeezed for whatever reason, but that's okay. I am so good with that. And by the way, I just got a letter from the president of CloutHub, and they are going to launch their live streaming video platform in the next probably 10 days. And they're working on, they will own it so no one can mess with it. And I think that's going to be a real viable alternative to Periscope. And CloutHub is a lovely community, so I hope you go on CloutHub. A number of our broadcasters are that I share often Dilly's there, Andrea's there, I think Mary Grace is there. I know Praying Medic is there, but his channel, Dilly and Praying Medic's channels got taken down by the IBM platform that was supporting Cloud Hub. But that's all changing. That's going to come back, and they're going to have their own. So I think we're going to have a fresh way to connect. Again, creativity. Fear will do you a favor of teaching what you believe, and it will help you be really creative if you're determined to be free. And every inch taken needs to be celebrated. I will tell you, just to give you a little story, I'll bring it home about why we can stay in celebration this month. In the midst of every crazy, right? In the midst of the pressure, I think it is a season we should celebrate. I don't think the enemy deserves the right to set the agenda and make us upset and have a dark winter, right? And so I think we should have a bright whatever we do because of who we are in Christ and the reality of that. And it really can change us. So we walk like that because Paul said, I've learned in whatever circumstance I'm in to be content. Do you know what content feels like? Content feels like calm confidence. Content feels like, here I'm digressing a little bit, but was Paul a non-goal-oriented guy? No, he wanted to bring the gospel to the nations. He was pioneering all across the known world at the time to bring the gospel and to assert things. So he wasn't sitting in his armchair kind of content. It was a calm knowing and being able to be in his own skin, in his own presence, in the circumstance he's in, and know that on the truest level he is okay. He's in Christ. He's settled. He's present. The Lord is with him. He's safe. He's all right. So we can get there more and more, and we get there over time, but we get there. We can also get there in big chunks the more we change our beliefs, all right, because they inform all the systems in our body that spark fear is the things we believe. But, you know, I had a creepy thing that used to follow me around all the time, and I was 29, 30, or early married woman, and I was talking to an older lady who was a prayer warrior lady that I often looked up to as a mentor. And I'm gonna sneeze. Wow. In any event, I was on the phone with her, and I was telling her that these creepy things, I would feel them, and I would hear certain thoughts. And since I was a child, I had heard voices telling me to do kind of weird, crazy things that I never did and never acted on, but it terrified me that it even went through my head. And so she looked at me, you know, we were on the phone. She goes, "You don't have to put up with that. What are you talking about?" So she just prayed with me. And one of the things she addressed was the spirit of death. And she just broke it and she said, "You get off of her right now. You leave now." And, you know, it was a bubbly, light feeling like, wow. And the next day I got up and it was very quiet, but it was this distinct sense that I wasn't being chased around like I was this creepy thing following me everywhere. And I've had that happen. It's tried to influence me through the years in slightly different ways. And each time when I've discerned it and said, no, we don't do the spirit of death. We don't do threats. We don't do agoraphobia. We don't do hide in your basement. We don't do that. And when I would discern it and tell it to go, feel it leave, and it's like I got myself back. And I remember thinking, is this the way everyone else is? Because I thought this was normal. I was so good at coping. I had developed so many coping mechanisms for my fear and anxiety that I just thought it was normal. And again, what have I said to this week? Many of you are very high-functioning fearers. You have a lot you can do. So you get up. I mean, I used to get up every day and say all my Bible verses, and do all my things, and sort of pull it all together. And then somehow I'd get through the day and I'd be okay. But there was an enormous amount of effort every day that went into me coping with this demonic issue that related to fear and threat. And when I was delivered of it, I realized, oh my gosh, I don't put that much energy. I mean, like, I got energy for other things now. I still want to pray. I still want to declare. I still want to do all that stuff. But I don't have to do it just to cope with this constant white noise of threat assessment going on. And so you will notice as you overcome an area, as you get deliverance, as you get healing, you'll look around and you go, wow, I just don't have to, I'm just not obsessed about it anymore. I'm just not triggered. And it will settle in, and you'll notice over days and weeks that it increases, especially the more you settle into that. And the more that becomes your reality of, I'm going to affirm the safety of God and the healing of God, and I'm going to go get some more of that, and I'm going to walk in that. You'll be surprised. I mean, how is it, have you ever looked at people with, especially maybe biblical characters or other people, and went, wow, they were in prison and they're singing. Wow, they were, on their way somewhere, and they raised the dead. I mean, their norms of their capability of dealing, or somebody in the military, can carry a 50-pound pack and jog 10 miles, whatever it is. And you just go, I don't know how they do that. Well, I've learned that there's way more of that in us than we even realize. And that it is more than possible for us to up our what we can handle and how we handle it and how we overcome, to the point where people go, well, I just don't know how she manages all that. I mean, look at this, look at her situation she lives with. Look at this thing and that thing. And when we're fear-filled and anxious in our day-to-day routine is terrifying us, because you remember stuff from the past that you couldn't control that really made you think you were going to die or should die because you're so bad. When that gets cleared out and you get delivered of the demonic strongholds and the things at work, you'll find you have so much more energy for being present and resourceful in your day-to-day life, even if it remains pretty complicated. Or even if we remain, do you not see it and feel it in our present situation with the media and the election? I mean, at a set of expectations, we'll have a president by November 3rd at 11 o'clock at night or something, and then, we'll do. But this has stretched us into the capacity to carry a heavier load for a longer period of time with greater aplomb, so to speak. So we want to celebrate each incremental deliverance, each incremental stretching into a new circumstance, each risk. And we can even celebrate the fact that we did it badly, that we did it really badly. To celebrate, I took a jazz piano class when I was trying to overcome stage fright, and I was practicing improvisation over these jazz scales, playing in the left hand the basic chords of My Funny Valentine or whatever it was. And I put myself into a situation where I went to a club, a little restaurant in Manchester, and I sat in, which means that's when a musician gets invited to play something at some other musician's gig. And I sat in because it was my teacher's gig. And I made myself play like My Funny Valentine with my funky, clunky solo over the top of it. And afterwards, I had gotten healed so much from my shame about judging myself not worthy to be a musician because of all of that it took me to get there, that after this little performance thing, a guy who was a musician asked me, asked me something about it, and I just said, well, I think I deserve a 10. I think that was a total 10. And he looked at me kind of funny because he was a intense musician, a perfectionist, and he knit his head together like, why would you give that a 10, Julie? And I said, because you don't know what I went through to play like a 4 level quality in a high stress situation. That to me, that was very high stress, especially with you watching. So maybe my actual not very good solo was maybe a 4, 3 in terms of just musical quality. But what it took for me to get up there, do that, have gone through all of the changes in my thinking about worthiness and value and music and fear and stage fright, to go up and play in this restaurant sit in for another musician, play My Funny Valentine, and actually do a solo, which means I don't know what I'm going to play first. It's all improvisation. You don't know what I went through. That, my friend, looks like a 10. That was a 10 level value to me. That was a 10. I was a 10 in that one. You need to see that in what's happening in your life right now. That if you're able to step out and do something you didn't do before, even if it doesn't turn out good. So you push back on the masks and some Karen messes with you and craps on your afternoon. 10! You did it. 10! Awesome. Stuck your neck out. You can be doing a 2-level step and get a 10-level result. Did you know that? Your next level of risk into change, into trust, into healing may be a baby step for you. But you can get a 10 out of it because you did it, because you increased, because you changed, because you dared to tell fear you're not going to believe what it's telling you. You dared to do it differently. You dared your brain to grow up and rewire. You dared to break the narrative you would always be afraid and always stuck and never be able to do this, and that if you got up and played My Funny Valentine kind of bad, that it would be the worst possible indication of your musicianship in the whole world. You can do a 2-level risk and apply it into a 3 and a 4. Get 10 out of it. Get a 10, a slap yourself on the back. I did it. I went. Okay, I went to the gym. After years of avoiding the gym, right? Right? I went to the gym. And I could barely lift those 3-pound hand weights. But I went after 5 years of avoiding it and 5 years of shame. That was a 10. That 3 was a 10, right? That sloppy, messy confrontation with my pastor, I got to give myself a 10 for that because I've been avoiding that for so long. Oops. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to celebrate, and that's part of the mindset that says, I refuse to lose. Okay, that sucked. Yeah. Stuck my neck out, foot in my mouth, all those things. My daughter's trying to call me because you know what? We're going to go do nails without masks. We found a mask-free nail place. You know why? Because the Holy Spirit told me to stop somewhere. And I went in and I said, hey, here's my deal. What do you think? She's like, cool. Hey, huh? I haven't gotten these nails done since January, okay? And these little toes, all right? Just saying. So she's wanting to come and know we're cool and we're doing this thing. The bottom line here is you need to celebrate every move forward, every moment of peace, every wedge of joy, every progress of a disabled child, and as if it's the hugest best thing that ever happened, because you don't realize how the glory of God works in the small steps of faith that then are leveraged up to greater faith and change. So during this time while I will not be with you, will you celebrate? Will you keep doing the things we've talked about? Will you order Mrs. Amazing and the Seed, the 28-day adventure for somebody in your life? Let me ship it to you, but do it right away. And I'm only shipping through the weekend. ThisIsAmazing.com. Code WONDER for $5 off. Will you do that? Will you celebrate? Will you go ahead and mess things up? I mean, really just go in and suck at something you need to try. Suck at some relationship change. Suck at some, physical challenge or some, first of all, pushing back against some unconstitutional mandate or some relationship that keeps you up at night. Go ahead. Do it. Try it. Give yourself a 10 for that. Celebrate it. Laugh. Go, oh my gosh. And I'll tell you this and then we'll end. Do you guys remember that we had a concert down here maybe a month ago, right? A little over a month ago. And I got out and I sang this song, Beyond Every Fear. And I gave you an example. I got to the high note. In all these years of overcoming stage fright, I've never cracked on a high note like I did. So here I am, the grande dame of Dream Farm, my daughter does this beautiful show. We have all our friends there. I'm kind of, a figure now. Wow, Julie, there's Julie. She's doing her thing. She's got a radio show. Her daughter's great now. She's doing a special song. My daughter was honoring me. I'm playing the special song about, it's called Beyond Every Fear. Beyond Every Fear. It's got this high note. And I am telling you, I cracked it. There was no saving it. There was no healing it. There was no hiding it. There was no nothing it. And it was a 10. Why? Because for me to be able to fail, to suck, to be bad, to have grown to the point of confidence where I know what I can do, and then to have completely crashed and burned, and to be able to laugh afterwards and go, I had that feeling like, dang, I wish I'd hit that. A few people came up and they go, oh, that was nice. You know how people try to give you a compliment when they really don't want to give you a compliment, they feel bad for you. I don't like that. But I was able to go to laugh and go, wow, God, look how much we've grown. That was an 11. That was a 12 because I faced the thing that no singer ever wants to do, and I was able to laugh. It didn't define me. It wasn't my last moment. It wasn't my last song. It wasn't my last note. It didn't mean anything other than I was present in the moment as a human being doing my thing to grow. Your next failure, your next sloppy thing only means you're being present in the growth, in the risk as a human being, to bring the best you can in the moment, and it's okay. So turn your sloppy 2 risk, your sloppy 2 performance into a 10. Celebrate every growth that keeps you in the glory side, the victory side, the winning side, the ebullient side, the I can't be beat side. God has prepared a table before you in the presence of your enemies. That means surrounded by people and voices and experiences that want to eat you for lunch. You're at the table of his goodness, laughing at the fact that they can't kill you, they can't lose, because you're not giving up. And you're in his victory. So enjoy your Christmas, the finish of Hanukkah, which is so prophetic. I didn't even talk about it this year. And also celebrating the new as we go into the year. Go celebrate every little thing. And I will see you back on